In my last video, which I posted 4 months ago, I told about being grounded with a torn hamstring and having to miss my Flathead Lake, Montana NOMADS project. I am currently in Ocean Park, Washington, serving for 3 weeks with NOMADS at the Ocean Park Methodist Camp and Retreat Center. After convalescing for 2 months in Longmont, Colorado, where my daughter and son live, it was great being back on the road. However, I was not totally grounded, I just couldn't drive. During the 2 months, my Woodstock schoolmate and friend Kim Bagur drove me to Aspen, where we met one of her good college friends. And my daughter Laura drove me to Missouri for the 50th anniversary of Bill and Betty McIntosh, Sally's mother and stepfather. While in Missouri, we visited some of Missouri's beautiful springs. And finally, Laura drove me back to Aspen, where we camped with son Andy and granddaughter Emma up at Maroon Bells. On the way to Washington, I camped for several nights at Noons Park Campground in Provo, Utah. I was able to back up Henry right to the river. It was one of the nicest places I have camped, as I was able to watch the river flow by from my bed. The popular Bridal Veil Falls was just a short walk away. 2 years ago, I had a chance meeting at a gas station in Provo with Woodstock schoolmate Paul Hackning. It was great visiting with him once again. I stopped in Kennewick, Washington for a visit with my friend Sue Fink, with whom Sally and I traveled in India. The next night, I hosted our monthly class Zoom from classmate Margot Curl's home in Lacey, Washington. And then a delightful visit with Mark Wagner and Marg Groff and Mark's daughter Leela in Port Townsend. Last year, I volunteered to deliver Mark and Marg to the Dos Wallops trailhead on the east side of the Olympic Peninsula for a 6-day hike. After dropping them off on my way back to Port Townsend, I visited Woodstock schoolmate David Rue in the lovely home he built himself. I love Port Townsend. If you want to see 2 videos I produced on Port Townsend, click the link in the comments below or on the video thumbnails, which will pop up at the end of this video. When I picked Mark and Marg up 6 days later, I met them with hot chai and hot samosas, something they had not expected.
NOMADMax, Chaiwala.
Next, Henry and I took the Kingston Ferry to Seattle, to the lovely home of classmate Marlon Schoonmaker and his wife Jeannie, and of course the home of Lulu and Coco. While Marlon and Jeannie visited grandchildren in London, I had fun caring for their 2 delightful toy poodles. Upon return from London, classmates Marlon and Gordon Van Rooy took me salmon fishing. We headed to the docks before it was light. Soon we were speeding along to a good fishing spot. Gordy pulled in the biggest catch of the day. Marlon followed shortly with another big one. We caught our limit of 2 salmon each in 3 hours and sped back to the docks. Matt, our fishing guide, did an amazing job of filleting all of our fish and packaging them for us in about 20 minutes. Gordy took our catch home and smoked it all for us. Marlon and I picked up our shares of vacuum-sealed smoked salmon the very next day. Before heading south to Ocean Park, I wanted to visit Neah Bay, the most northwesterly part of the lower 48 states. Having visited Key West, the most southeasterly part, and Eastport, Maine, the most northeasterly part, and Imperial Beach, the most southwesterly part, I just had to visit Neah Bay. It is the home of the Makah tribe of Native Americans. They hunted whales in their canoes and put every part of the whale to use. I visited their most interesting museum. I am currently serving with other nomads at the Ocean Park Methodist Camp and Retreat Center. More about that in the next video.